Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News.
Good afternoon. Bill Bryant and Barbara Bailey reporting for WKYT. We're continuing to track some storms that are moving across the Commonwealth this midday.
It's a first alert severe weather day with more showers and thunderstorms possible. WKYT meteorologist Micah Harris is tracking the storms now on First Alert Defender. Micah?
Well, if you're looking for rain on the yards, you want to be down in southeastern Kentucky. That's where you're getting some beneficial rain. It's more light to moderate showers falling across the region, and no real thunderstorms in our viewing area just yet. Those are actually back toward Louisville and go into Indiana. That's where you're seeing that. That's the piece of energy we're going to be really focusing in on. Already seeing a severe thunderstorm warning there for a county just to the far western zones of Bloomington and Indiana. So look, all that's going to be traveling. You can kind of see that in the loop. That it's going to be moving down toward the southeast, which puts it in our neck of the woods here in the upcoming hours. So the next 24-hour planner, let's check it out. As we plan the rest of your afternoon, spotty storms are going to be there. There's no doubt about it. Some will be strong. Couple could be severe, and we're looking for winds and also hail being our main threats. One thing we cannot 100% exclude is a possibility of an isolated tornado, much like what we saw yesterday. So hopefully we don't see that. It's not 0, but it's more like 2%. And overnight and into tomorrow, look at that. Finally see some sunshine and drier conditions. I'll show you when you can expect more rain in the forecast because this doesn't last long. It's coming up in a few minutes.
Micah, thank you. The National Weather Service confirms today that an EF1 tornado touched down in Clinton County yesterday. The tornado touched down along Highway 127 and lasted for about 1 minute. They say that wind speeds from the tornado may have reached more than 100 miles per hour. Trees and power lines were downed in the storm. No injuries have been reported.
And we're also tracking storm damage this afternoon in Garrett County. Insurance agents there tell WKYT they've received multiple reports of damage to homes and cars. Now, it was mostly caused by hail. Some of those reports came from Kentucky 1295. At least one home had damage to its side panels. The security light outside that same home was shattered by hail. There was also a report of a tree down along that same road.
Investigators are still trying to figure out this midday what caused a Harrison County fire and 2 deaths.
Now, autopsies are scheduled today for the 2 people who have not yet been identified. WKYT's Sam Smith joins us now from Harrison County. That's our other top story here at 12:30. Sam?
Yeah, you can see what's left of the home behind me. The investigation into this deadly fire continues this afternoon. The bodies of the victims are at the medical examiner's office in Frankfort. Officials there are still working to identify the bodies and the cause of death. The home caught fire Monday morning. It's located on Grays Run Road near Cynthiana. Investigators say the fire started in the living room towards the front of the house. It's where both of the bodies were found. Neighbors say this is a quiet part of Harrison County where things like this don't typically happen, and it's a scene that will be hard to forget.
It's really hard to get used to here, you know, after it being so quiet and then you have something this devastating to happen.
We're told the 2 children that live here were not home at the time of the fire. They were unharmed and at school. In Harrison County, Sam Smith, WKYT.
Sam, thank you. Officials tell us they have not ruled out foul play in this case.
A woman who died in a late-night Scott County crash has been identified. 26-year-old Melody Lynn Morton of Stamping Ground was killed on Kentucky 226. The sheriff's office tells us Morton's car veered off the road and struck a tree. A male passenger in the car was taken to UK hospital with minor injuries. Morton was pronounced dead at the scene. Investigators say alcohol may have played a role in that crash.
2 more Madison County intruders were taken to the hospital this morning after they tried to break into a house. Troopers say a man and his son confronted the armed intruders at their home on Lee Drive, north of Richmond. KSP tells us the father and son were able to restrain the 2 suspects and no shots were fired. The 2 who broke in were taken to UK hospital with non-life-threatening injuries.
I just rushed them, disarmed the guy with the gun. The gun fell on the ground, it broke. At that point, my dad, he had run in and he was helping me. Basically subdued him, messed him up a little bit, and waited for the cops to get there.
Investigators say the charges are pending against the 2 intruders.
Prosecutors in Scott County say they're losing several cases after a former sheriff's lieutenant stole drugs from an evidence locker. According to the News Graphic, Jeremy Day pleaded guilty to theft of a controlled substance in August. The drugs that were stolen from the lockers were needed to be used against suspects in drug trials. The Scott County Circuit Judge says that justice was thwarted because of Day's actions. Day is serving a 5-year prison term.
An accident involving a Lexington police cruiser caused a traffic backup this morning. It happened about 7:30 at Manowar near Alumni. Police say a woman was driving an SUV outbound when she somehow lost control and crossed the median and then hit a police cruiser head on. Officer Amy Thurman was on duty at the time of the crash. Both drivers were taken to UK Hospital with minor injuries. And also in Lexington, a Good Samaritan and a woman and a child are at the hospital after a crash. It happened just after 8 on Georgetown Road at Sandersville Road. Police say a woman lost control of her car and it flipped. Another woman stopped to help when her car was also hit with her child inside. 3 people have been taken to the hospital. Police say none of the injuries are believed to be serious.
A former Scott County high school teacher has been indicted today after reports of sexual misconduct. The News Graphic reports that 26-year-old Elizabeth Alexander has been indicted on 2 charges involving a sexual relationship with a student. Police say she admitted to them she kissed and touched a 15-year-old in her classroom at Scott County High School and asked him to text her a sexually explicit photo. She has since resigned.
A business that once called San Francisco home has relocated to Lexington and bringing some new jobs with it. The company is called Hydra, and it manufactures bath products and aromatherapy to more than 2,000 retailers. 10 new jobs are coming with the company. The general manager says Kentucky is the perfect place to reach its strongest customer base in a timely manner.
It's beyond exciting. We're thrilled to be here in Lexington, and this has been a great event, and we just feel so much support here, and it's hard to express.
The general manager says he expects to add 10 more jobs over the next couple of years. Well, stroke patients need to be monitored longer.
And how an MRI could help in the battle against dementia. Ebony Williams has details in this Better Living report.
A simple brain scan may one day be used to identify people at risk for developing dementia before symptoms appear. Researchers in Switzerland studied MRIs of 148 healthy patients and 65 people with mild memory problems. Scientists found patterns in the scans they believe could help diagnose people at risk for dementia. Researchers in Canada say stroke survivors need to be watched longer than the usual 3-month period. A new study shows patients have a 10% chance of having a second stroke or a heart attack in the first year. They remain at high risk for the rest of their lives. And new findings show doctors prescribe more antibiotics in the afternoon. Researchers in Boston looked at 23 primary care practices over 17 months. They believe antibiotic prescriptions increase in the afternoon because some doctors get worn down over the workday. That's a look at some of the day's top health stories. Ebony Williams, CBS News, New York.
All right, we hope you keep it here on WKYT News. There's a lot more coming up here at 12:30. The Incredible Food Show brings the Pioneer Woman to Lexington this weekend.
Also, how much sugar do you eat? The American Heart Association has some advice on how much is too much. We're glad you're with us today. How much sugar is in your food? You could be surprised by the answer.
And Dr. Allison Bailey with UK Healthcare and Dr. Sylvia Searle-Sewell, past president of the American Heart Association, are joining us to talk more about sugar intake. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, guys.
I assume most of us eat too much of it, huh?
Absolutely. The American diet is full of sugar.
So how much are we supposed to have?
Well, that's a very good question. In fact, American women in a whole day should only add up to 6 teaspoons.
And that's it.
And men should add up to 9 teaspoons. But fruit's your friend and water's your friend. Drink all you want, and you can eat all that great fruit you like. Fruit salad, grab an apple, grab a banana, that's fine. The fruit you find in things, the sugar you find in things is great.
But not the added sugar.
Right, and that's what we're talking about is added sugar. The average American gets 22 teaspoons of sugar a day, which is 3 or 4 times what we should. And the majority of that comes from sugar-sweetened beverages, so things like sodas.
So you should avoid sugary beverages like pop?
Yeah, absolutely. The average 12-ounce soda has about 8 teaspoons of sugar, which when you think about how much we should have in a day, that's a lot of sugar.
So why is it so bad? What does too much sugar do to you?
Sylvia, you want to take? Yeah.
All right, well, that's fine. Too much sugar actually revs your metabolism in the wrong ways. So our bodies are designed, a little bit of sugar at a time is what your brain needs. A little bit of sugar at a time is what our muscles need. But our bodies are designed to burn slowly and evenly, just like your car engine, right? And too much sugar all at once just isn't healthy.
And so the result is what? What happens in your body?
Yeah, weight gain is the biggest thing. In weight in areas that we don't want to gain weight, like our abdomen, which we know when we gain weight in our abdomen, it's worse for us than if we gain it other places in our body.
So if you do a lot of exercise, do you need to worry about this, or should everybody really be concerned about it?
Everybody.
Everybody should.
This is for everyone. So people who exercise, we're not saying never eat sugar or never eat white carbs. And in fact, people who exercise a lot need to be sure that they're getting some carbohydrates. A balanced diet, those things your grandma told you are really true. We all need that plate that we're learning about is so important. We need fruits and vegetables and some grain, some whole grain, and some lean protein. But that means that added sugar, those little sugar bugs that you weren't supposed to be getting too much of, well, they're not good for your teeth, and they're not good for your brain, and they're not good for your heart, and they're not good for your tummy.
Well, that says it all, doesn't it?
I think it does.
That really
Message
does.
received.
All right, before lunch, I'm going to take that to heart.
Appreciate you coming in.
Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
guys.